All right, Shalom. This is your brother Shamak. I have the Great Millstone Atlanta camp. Before I get started with the lesson, I want to first start by giving all the glory, infinite praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rachel Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. All right, Shalom to all the sincere brothers that's pushing teaching truth all around the four corners of the earth. Shalom to all you sincere listeners and sincere believers. Okay, here with a biblical history topic of the Dark Ages, and that this is Bible history. All right, this is all written within the Holy Bible, including iconoclasm, the Byzantine Empire, the Renaissance. All right, this is all biblical history, man, for you Black, Spanish, Native Americans out there, man. Okay, because also this is going to or confound or rebuke or bring down the strongholds of Esau, even the so-called white man lies, man. All right, we've been lied to our entire lives, man. Okay. So just to get right into it concerning the Dark Ages. Okay, this is a quick search from Wikipedia. It says the Dark Ages is a term from the early Middle Ages or Middle Ages in the area of the Roman Empire in Europe. Okay, it says after its fall in the 5th century, characterizing it as marked by economic, intellectual, and cultural decline. Okay, let's go more into it. Here it says the concept of a Dark Age originated in the 1330s with the Italian scholar Petrarch, who regarded the post-Roman centuries as dark. All right, compared to the light of classical antiquity. The term employs traditional light versus darkness imagery to contrast the era's darkness. It says parentheses lack of records, man. This is where the lies comes in at with Esau, even the so-called white man. He says lack of records. He only saying that okay because the Dark Ages is the time period where the Israelites ruled, man. Dark people, okay. That's why I want to say Dark Ages, lack of records. No, man. Cut out the lies. All right, it says, with earlier and later periods of light, abundance of records. See, this is all lies, man. Okay? It says, I think that's the main point I want to hit there. All right, I'm going to go on down. It says, the concept thus came to characterize the Middle Ages as a time of intellectual darkness in Europe between the fall of Rome and the Renaissance. Okay? So this time period, all right, during the Dark Ages, was after the fall of Rome and before the Renaissance period. Okay, it says this became especially popular during the 18th century age of enlightenment. All right, so and this is going to bring me to the topic of iconoclasm, man. All right, because that's basically Esau, even the so-called white man, they tried to do a cover up from this period of when dark people ruled. Okay, they tried to do a cover up through iconoclasm. All right. So let's go with that term iconoclasm. All right. And let's get straight to the point. This is where it's going to cut them, man. All right. You know what? I'll start here. It says, conversely, one who reveres or venerates religious images is called by iconoclast. And it says, in a Byzantine context, such a person is called onychodule or the onychophile. Iconoclasm does not generally encompass the destruction of the images of a specific ruler after his or her death or overthrow. All right, and this is where it goes in even more. And you see the images over here, man. You know, a somewhat dark complexion people. All right, well you have here, they're just doing cover up, man. It's all propaganda and through lies, man. Okay, and this is going to go. This goes directly into the scripture. This I'm gonna jump back and forth. It's Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? That's exactly what Esau attempted to do with directly specifying with the Dark Ages, man. All right, and with the Byzantine Empire. All right, let's read more. It says, while iconoclasm may be carried out by adherents of a different religion, it is more commonly the result of the sectarian disputes between factions of the same religion. The term originates from the Byzantine iconoclasm. All right. It says the struggles between prominents and opponents of religious icons in the Byzantine Empire. All right. Salakia. It says from 726 to 842 AD. Let's see what this goes more into. And that's going to bring me right into the Byzantine Empire, man. Okay. Let's see what this goes into. All right, and this is all within the scriptures, man. This is going to bring me straight home to the point. All right. And it says the Byzantine Empire, also referred to as the Eastern Roman Empire. So the Dark Ages has, all right, this is related to the Dark Ages, man. This is also related to the iconoclasm. And then it goes right into the Byzantine Empire, Eastern Roman Empire, man. All right. It says, was a continuation of the Roman Empire in its eastern provinces during the late antiquity in the Middle Ages, when its capital city was Constantinople. Salakia. It survived the fragmentation in the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century and continued to exist for an additional 1,000 years until it fell to the Ottoman Empire in 1453. Okay? All right, so we must remember that this Dark Age period was after the fall of Rome, okay? And it just spoke about the fall of the Western Empire, all right? Western Roman Empire, and it's before the Renaissance period, all right? And it says, during most of its existence, the empire was the most powerful economic, cultural, and military force in Europe. All right, remember that point, in Europe as well, man. Okay. It says Byzantine Empire is a term created after the end of a realm. Its citizens continued to refer to their empire simply as the Roman Empire. And look, this is another point. We have a whole book of Romans within the Holy Bible, man. All right, that lets you know that Israelites were in Rome. Okay, this word is only to the Israelites. Paul was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Romans chapter 11, verse 1. Okay, so that lets you know there, man, the Israelites were in Europe. We're in Rome. Okay, we're in Europe generally, generally speaking. Okay, so that'll lead me directly, okay, into going into because that's the point. Roman Empire, 1,000 years. That's going to bring me right to Revelation chapter 20, man. Okay, and with the iconoclasm too, let me get one precept before I go to Revelation chapter 20. All right, because I'm applying this scripture. Okay, let me say that I'm applying this scripture. This is First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48, and this is what they did, man. And it says, and lay open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. And this is just an example that they've been doing this, man, within their own history, man. They've been doing this. They've been doing iconoclastics, through the iconoclasm, man. They've been painting, trying to cover up the judges thereof, man. Through whitewashing images, erasing history, attempting to erase history, man. That's what they've been attempting to do. All right. But let's go right into that Revelation chapter 20. And this is going to back up the points that I have read within the Dark Ages, within iconoclasm, within the Byzantine Empire. This is going to back up that, man. All right. So this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. All right. And that bottomless pit symbolizing, representing Europe. And a great chain in his hand is representing slavery. All right. So now, and we read within the Wikipedia, what the time period was within Europe, the Byzantine Empire during this Dark Ages period. Okay. And who was in rulership. Let's more into it. It says verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay. So this is over a nation, man, over Esau, Edom, that old serpent, the devil, man, Satan. And it says, and bound him 1,000 years. And how long did it say that Byzantine Empire lasted? What did it say? It said 1,000 years, man, right in front of our face. I mean, this is also must be specified. This is Eastern Roman Empire, man. Okay, where we ruled. All right. So then read it again. It says Revelation chapter 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So the Israelites had rule over these Edomites, man. All right. We had rule over the so-called white people. That's why they want to hide. Doesn't it make sense? It makes sense why they would want to hide this history, man. But verse 3, and it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up. And this was located within Europe. Okay, we just read that through Wikipedia. We just read that through history. All right. And it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay, and how is he loosed that little season? All right, through the Renaissance period. Okay, let's get that quickly here. All right, through it says history.com. All right, and it says Renaissance. All right, it says the Renaissance was a fervent period of European cultural. We just read it through the history and linked it up with the scriptures, man. This is location within Europe. All right, it says artistic, political, and economic rebirth. That's what the word Renaissance means. Rebirth. Okay, following the Middle Ages, also coincide with the Dark Ages, man. Okay. It says generally described as taking place from the 14th century to the 17th century. The Renaissance promoted the rediscovery of the classical philosophy, literature, and art. Yeah, my ass, man. Come on, man. All right, but let's see what else. Let's see what else it holds. It says, look at this. It says, from darkness to light, the Renaissance begins. So Renaissance going to that term rebirth means rebirth, man, because the Edomites they gain their power back, of course, through prophecy, because it was already written within the Holy Bible. All right, this ties it all together, man. It says during the Middle Ages, a period that took place between the fall of ancient Rome, all right, in 476 AD, and the beginning of the 14th century. Europeans made few advances in science and art. Look, it says also known as the Dark Ages, because that's when the Dark Ages came in about, man. All right, that rulership of the Israelites, of you Black, Spanish, Native Americans, man. All right, the dark people, It says also known as the Dark Ages. The era is often branded as a time of war, ignorance, famine, pandemics, such as the Black Death. All right, and this is where the lies comes in at, man. All right, that's why you got to filter and take the meat from the bones, man. Okay, we ruled in Europe, dark people, us, okay, Israelites. All right, straight to the point. Let's and let's get a quick example of that. This I did want to pull up King James, man, just for a quick example. Let's see. You know what? That was a good picture too. But you see how they tried to whitewash it with other images. Yeah, they tried to whitewash it, man. All right, you see it here for yourself. And it says, and this is the ruler himself, man. Look, it says King James the First of England, all right, and the 6th of Scotland, all right. So he's a ruler over, and it also including Ireland, So King James, it says it was a ruler of England, Scotland, all right, and Ireland, all right. So we ruled we ruled, man. We ruled for a period of time, 1,000 years to be exact, okay. 1,000 years, and this is all part of prophecy. This is already written within Revelation chapter 20, okay. All right, so Revelation chapter 20, verse 3 again says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, of course, being Europe, as we have read, and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Man, he's loosed a little season right now through that Renaissance period, through that rebirth. Okay, all right, and this where within the scriptures it changes stances, man, because it's not the scriptures are not written. This scroll is not written as a regular book. All right, for those that can understand through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, man. Because I just wanted to put that out there before reading verse 4. All right, because this goes into even more prophecy. All right, but it's not going into that particular time period. So this Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. All right. And this also has relation as well, because we had apostles, we had Israelites, all right, within the Roman Empire that didn't bow down to the system, as you have now today through this beast system. All right, through NATO, the revival of the Roman Empire, man. Okay. But and it says, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. Verse 5. It says, but the rest of the dead, live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. All right, the rest of the dead being representing these heathen nations. All right, they were under hardcore bondage slavery. They're going to be under hardcore bondage slavery for 1,000 years. All right, it says, and this is the first resurrection. Okay, referring to the elect, referring to the deliverance of the elect in the 1/3. Okay, 2/3 would be put here, would die here on earth. Okay. But it will back to the it says, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. All right, because after 1,000 years of slavery that the heathens are going to serve, excluding, not including the Edomites, because the Edomites, after they serve their 1,000 years, they're going to be exterminated, man. They're just going to be wiped out, annihilated, man. All right, as off the face of the earth as a nation. All right, according to Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18, it shall be none remaining of the house of Esau. All right, the Lord hates you, nation, man. He hates that nation, but specifically, all right, that's our top enemy, all right. But the rest of the heathens, all right, we're gonna basically, let them loose off that hardcore bondage, give them their piece of the land, whatever that may be, all right. Give them their own land, but they still, of course, give their pay their dues or resources, their tithes, giving out their selections, of course, under our dominion, under our rulership of the Israelites. They're still going to owe us. They're still going to, pay tributaries, to us, basically, But verse 6, it says, blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. That first resurrection being deliverance, man. And also going back to verse 4, they're going to be souls that, of course, they're going to die, for this word, man, for this truth. All right. And they're going to be the first ones risen up, recorded according to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 15 through 18, man. First ones risen up, all right? But back to verse 6, it says, blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection, and on the second death have no power. That second death being those thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, going to that lake of fire. It says, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Yahweh Shai, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. All right, verse 7. All right, so verse 7 is going back to that time period that we read within verses 1 through 3. Okay, verse 7 says, and when, let me highlight this real quick. Verse 7, it reads, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. All right, and he's loosed out of that prison through what? That rebirth period, man. The Renaissance period. Okay. And it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. He deceived the entire world. All right, it says Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea, referring to Russia. All right, because the Russians inhabit that land of Gog and Magog today. All right, and they're going to bring forth World War III. That's going to be one of the main nations to bring forth this World War III. I just mentioned, all right, that second death, including those thermonuclear missiles, and Russia is going to be one of those main countries sending off those thermonuclear missiles to hit America, and hit other parts of the earth, man. All right, but it's going to be one of these main nations within prophecies, man. Russia plays a big part within prophecy, okay? But verse 9, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about in the beloved city, and fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. Verse 10, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And that's what's in store, and that's what they're going to be the main result from Esau Edom's rulership, man. Thermonuclear missiles, okay? And from the lies, from the deception, all right, from the whitewashing, from the iconoclasm, all right, through all the rulerships, from forwarding the affliction, for ruling over the Lord's chosen people, who are the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are the Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, okay? All these such things, man. This was in store for you, Esau, all right? This was in store, okay, through the lies, man, through lying to our people, through all, through the school system, because they have slightly mentioned the Dark Ages, and they say these such things as lack of records, man. They say these such things, man. It's at a time of black death, ignorance. Like, come on, man, it just lies. But we see here through history and through biblical evidence and through biblical history that we see the truth. We see the truth of the Dark Ages. Okay, that our people, the dark complexion people, ruled Europe through iconoclasm, through the Byzantine Empire that we ruled for 1,000 years. We were in rulership for 1,000 years, man. That's a great amount of time. All right. And Esau, Edom, to gain their control back through the Renaissance period, through that rebirthing. Okay. And of course, I brought out the example with King James, man. You see, they tried to whitewash it, with these other images, man. But we ruled in Europe, man. And I was just using him as an example. He ruled England. All right. You got England, Ireland, and Scotland. Okay. So hey, the truth is there, man. And Lord willing, that's what's edifying and exhorting, encouraging for you sincere believers and sincere listeners, man. I want to end out by giving all the glory, infinite praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wahakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and overseers Tabernacle David. Hey, Shalom. Shalom.